good morning, and welcome to the Ruckus Room. I'm here today with Alan and Rachel, and we are going to talk about some conservative things that are going on in the world. And I'm just going to preface this by saying, oh my gosh, what's going on with 2026? I feel like between Maduro getting arrested and this all taking place in Minnesota, like I just feel like brace yourself, it's coming. I don't know if anyone
Oh
else feels
yeah.
that way.
It reminds me of the first week of 2025 after the inauguration. It was just like, whoa, what is even happening?
I
So,
feel like it's
yeah,
even more powerful.
Yeah, crazy
uh,
land.
yeah,
you know,
I
I've
think
said,
we need to restore common sense.
yeah, I've said since the inauguration that Trump doesn't have 4 years, he has two. And I think he
Hmm.
feels that because midterms are coming. And he's even said this out loud, the quiet part out loud. If the Democrats win the majority in the House, and God forbid the Senate, then they will just impeach him. It will be just constant impeach attempts until, what if they succeed? And then I guess we get JD Vance. But I mean, he's got this year. He's got a matter of months, if not a matter of days, to get things set up for the midterms.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
we need to keep it because, like you just said, if we lose it, we pretty much lose everything because it'll go
Everything.
from getting things done to complete chaos and nothing happening. That's the way the Democrats will run it.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So
This is just crazy, and I think the TDS is so real on how Trump is taking up mental space with the left, and I feel it is just getting to a point where all of these people are becoming so radicalized, and I don't know where this is going to go, because I don't think it's just going to be from Trump. I think it's going to be anybody they elect. The
Well,
red.
I think we
yes.
saw. I think we saw just yesterday the way it's going to go. With
Yeah.
the ICE agent, and the lady in the car and all of that. I think that's the future. They have gotten so radicalized, and they're going so off the deep end that that type of thing is just going to keep going. And
Well,
it's not the fault.
Yeah.
here's
Hmm?
some of the facts about what happened yesterday. Her name is Renee Good. She's 37 years old. This came from DHS report. She tried to run over an officer. She is part of an ICE watch group, which gets paid to do this. Okay. They get paid to impede ICE raids. They're trained, they're organized, and they track ICE agents. So when people came into my comments the other day, oh, she must have been scared. No, she wasn't. She was doing this for months before this. She actually dropped her 6-year-old off at school to do this, which as a mom, who does stuff like that? Like, I understand if you want to go to a protest because it's something you really believe in and it's going to be peaceful. This is not peaceful. You're tracking and following
No.
agents. You're blocking their vehicles from doing their job. And I just think that there's something mentally wrong with you at that point. Like, you've
Well,
definitely crossed over.
there's a mentality out there that was expressed by some lady on TikTok saying that we have a right to do this. We have a right to just drive around on the street and block ICE vehicles. Like that is our right as Americans. Like there's this attitude that
When
there's
is
not
that a
going to be any
right?
consequence.
When
Yeah,
is
I
that a
mean
right?
peacefully
Impeding law
protest.
officers. I must have missed the boat on that. Common
The,
sense, like I
the
said, needs to be restored.
the whole Black Lives Matter aftermath, where the protesters were blocking highways and roads and everything, they were allowed to get away with that and do that, and that's not lawful. I mean, there could be emergency vehicles that are trying to get through. Like you cannot hold your town hostage or falsely imprison people on the road, which is what they were doing, but they were getting away with it for so long that it became a precedent in people's minds. People thought this was just okay.
They
So
thought it's okay to kill Charlie Kirk. They actually celebrated the death of a human being. And you notice
yeah.
we're not celebrating the death of her. We're stating facts.
No.
She was blocking and impeding. That's all we're doing. We're not celebrating it. Like, if the officer would have died, the left would be celebrating it like they did with Charlie
Yes, they
Kirk,
would.
which is
They
sick.
absolutely
It's
would.
sick.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is sick, and that's really one of the ideological differences between the left
Yeah.
and the right in general is we don't celebrate when somebody. I feel awful that that lady died yesterday. It was completely 100% avoidable. She
Yeah.
put herself in the position, and the situation happened, but it didn't have to happen if they weren't doing crazy stuff. If they want to protest, stand on the side of the road with a sign, on the sidewalk. Right here in Palm Coast, when I was coming home the other day, yesterday, the bridge that goes over 95 up by Matanzas had protesters up there with their signs and everything, the big red circle with ice in the middle of it. Fine. They were standing on the side. They weren't screaming. They weren't doing anything. They were just standing there. That type of protest is 100% okay. When you get out in the middle of the road and you start doing stupid stuff, or you burn police stations, or you burn cars and tip cars over, and you do all that kind of stuff, you need to go to jail for it. And this lady, unfortunately,
Yeah.
took it to an extreme, and
She, yeah,
sadly,
she had
yeah,
been harassing them all day.
yes,
Like, put it in context. She had been following them around, tracking them, stalking them all day, and interfering with them. And they had finally had enough. And they're like, okay, this lady needs to be arrested. So they were attempting to arrest her. And that's the part you saw. And that's the part that's taken out of context, is the part where she's now evading an active arrest attempt. Oh, she's just trying to get away. She's trying to get out of the way. No, she has
She was
realized
told
that
by
she has
3
played a
cops to get
stupid
out of the
game.
vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah, and she was about to get a stupid prize.
right.
And she was trying to avoid that, and she made
And
it
and
even
the other
stupider.
thing that came out today is that officer, that ICE officer, was also hit by a car of trying to get away a few months ago, and he was dragged, like
Seriously,
he was
he was
dragged for.
seriously injured.
Yeah, he was
I
seriously
heard.
injured, and then he gets
Yeah,
hit again. I mean, you know,
yeah. He's like, no, this isn't. Not today. Not today.
right?
No. Yeah. 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 Now, remember the difference between today and back when George Floyd happened is Twitter. The ownership of Twitter has changed to Elon Musk, and he is allowing all voices, and the community notes feature is golden. I mean,
Well, we'll see what happens on when this show goes out this evening, whether or not TikTok holds it or doesn't. So if you are watching this, and try it, go to TikTok and see. You can check out the Ruckus Room. It'll also be on the Flag of the Voice there. Try it. Let's see if we actually make it through and on what platforms it gets blocked on.
hmm,
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be interesting.
Oh, wait. I also heard in the news today that there was another car thing that happened. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it was
They're
the left that
enforcing the law.
it was the
They're
left that
legit.
put the bounty out on Maduro, and they're upset about him being captured too. I mean, they're so hypocritical.
So hypocritical. But what's new?
Yeah, exactly. What's new?
But it's almost as if the left is so emboldened and so dependent on the immigration population and the fraud money that they are fighting against all this as if it's an existential issue. So I think it is. I think if we got rid of the illegal immigrants that were funding them and providing a voter base and all this fraudulent financial activity, like with the Somali daycares, if that all disappears, I think that's like a significant part of the Democrats' electoral strategy for
Oh,
funding and
definitely.
votes. So, so of course they're going to fight like their lives depend on it, and they're going to radicalize people like their power depends on it. So I think that's what we're seeing. That's what makes sense. Is they really need that fraud to keep going. Yeah, but Minnesota was the right place to start because California is the big one. They're the ones with the tall building lawyers. But you start with Minnesota, it's kind of small potatoes. Unbelievably, it's small potatoes. But you set the precedent with prosecuting them, and then you go after Newsom.
I
Smart.
agree 100%.
Mm. Spencer Pratt. Hmm. Wow, I hadn't heard of him. Thanks for pointing him out. I'll look him up.
I hope he knows how to run a bulldozer because it's going to take a big one. There's a lot of
Oof.
crap to push aside. Well, don't
Yeah.
don't forget Reagan was an actor too, and he was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sad.
I'm really hopeful about the continuation of the walkaway movement, Brandon Struck's movement. Have you ever heard the phrase "men go crazy in congregations"? They regain their senses one by one, or words to that effect. I think it's not going to be a movement en masse of the left waking up. I think it's individual by individual realizing that they're being lied to and breaking out of the echo chamber and finding the truth. I think when you put the truth in front of people, as uncomfortable as the cognitive dissonance might be, they wake up. But it happens one by one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I hope it's not a color revolution. I hope it's sincere.
Al, I wouldn't hold your breath on peacefully. They've already announced they're going to start arresting and stopping the protests, so it could go bad. Well, look a little further back. I
It
mean,
is.
wait till we start seeing pallets of bricks left on the side of the road. That it's just to incite these people to go. They're already nuts. It's just to push them over the edge to go a little more nuts. And yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, it's a
If they let
deflection
it.
from their own issues, is what it is, and they create these things to be that way. And unfortunately, there are large numbers of people that are impressionable, and it goes bad. It's all yeah, I agree. It
Poor
is the narrative.
Minnesota.
It's exactly right. But it's one person at a time to change it. It's like you said, Rachel. It's not going to be a mass movement. It's going to be one person at a time, and they're going to get hated by the rest of the group. But
Oh
at
yeah.
least they'll come around.
That's the hard part about finding the truth when you've been lied to is you lose your community. So ideally, you find a new one. Um,
Yeah.
so we have to be open to people who are sincerely waking up and give them a soft landing and welcome them.
You know,
But
and but you we have to be careful of that too. Like locally
yes,
here, we have people running for local offices that are,
rhinos.
if you're yes, if you're a Democrat, you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you're a Republican. You run as what you are. But since we're in a predominantly red county here,
Hmm.
we have Democrats, lifelong Democrats, switching just to run for office, trying to convince people that they've changed their mindset.
Yeah, because they know they
You got to
can't
be
get elected with a D behind their name, so they put an
right.
R and they figure, if
Right.
they
Then
got
they
the
think, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But you got to be
Yes,
careful
you're right.
because we've had that issue, and
Yeah,
it's raised
can't
its head
just
here several times.
you can't just pick a name on a ballot at random. You have to know who you're voting for or do not check a box. Cuz that
Yeah,
is just a
exactly.
real threat in a location like ours where one party is so strong and the other is so weak as they just take over the strong party.
Right. But once
So,
if they do get in, and they have locally here many times, they don't operate as the platform that they ran on. They go back to the ways that they really were, and then we have to deal with that because people fell for it. We
yeah.
have to be vigilant.
Wise as serpents.
Yeah. 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 Well,
Mm.
Well, I the big change, if he can pull it off in the not too distant future, like Rachel was saying in the beginning, in the next few days to short couple weeks, we need an economy boost. It's always about the money as far as the vote goes. Get an economy boost.
That's I mean that's nice, but that's not going to work. What we need is a job bonanza. We
Yeah,
need wages to go up. We need people to be hiring like crazy. And ask again in June. I don't think right now is a good litmus test for how November is going to go. I think we'll have a better idea in June if he's going to be able to pull this off. But he's going to have to not only hold, but we need to gain seats. And historically, we got a tough road in front of us. A very uphill battle. It's a
well, the problem with that is that people have a 3-second attention span. They don't
Yeah.
look back, and if they don't get it in 3 seconds, then they've waited too long. I mean, TV, as an example, has proven that you have to change scenes and you have to change what's going on every 3 seconds, or you lose the audience. And politics is the same way. And unfortunately, nobody's going to look back. They only look at this moment, and if this moment doesn't improve at this moment, they become discouraged.
I'm hopeful though.
But I agree. But I agree with you, Chrissy. But I think it has to hit the individual person's wallet. I think they have to feel an increase in their income. They have to feel the job market increase. They have to
Yeah.
feel it. Just because they can see it in other areas isn't going to bring the emotional response to check the proper box, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
you can't put a statistic in front of people. They have to have their own circumstance improve. And I'm really hopeful that the dominoes are lining up to go that way. I think there is a plan behind the scenes that we're not privy to that's happening, and all of this is part of it. And like I say, June, July, let's see how everyone feels. But polls right now, I don't think are they don't mean anything right now.
No, yeah, I agree. Too far in advance right now. But we have to begin to feel it, though.
Yeah, yeah, we got a deep bench, and they have no bench. So
They got AOC.
that's not a bench. That's not a bench.
But
Yeah. Oh, and I think Mom Donnie is going to implode New York. So that's another thing that we'll be able to point to is I think New York is going down based on yeah. I think they're going to see some real pain, and that's going to unfortunately work in our favor as much as
yeah,
bringing the rest of the country up, watching Mom Donnie bring New York down.
it's
But
sad. It's
that's
sad.
what they
It's sad
asked
that he
for.
got in. It's
That's
sad
what
that
they
he got
asked
in.
for.
People fell for this again, and I put a post out this morning about are we a democracy or a democratic republic or a republic, and people they don't teach civics in school anymore. People have lost their minds on the way things are supposed to go. They think that
Yeah.
socialism will work. They don't look around to see that socialism has failed everywhere, and they put the name democratic in front of it. So you got democratic socialism, which is an oxymoron. And it's the people that believe it, I guess, are just take the oxy away, and they're just morons.
They're
That's
going
all
to
I
have
can
to
see.
experience it.
Yes. No, I won't be
We
sad to
need
see
good
him go.
Republicans to run for office at the local level, at all levels. We need good Republicans to step up. Because, I mean, what you mentioned, Alan, see, the left is the party of big government. They think government power is a good thing. And we on the right, we tend to think government power is a bad thing. So we're not naturally drawn to office, to running for office. So we need to seriously look in the mirror and at a local level stand up and take responsibility where we need to so that we have good people to vote for. So
Well, I'll tell you, along the lines of that, one of the big things, at least in our county, that we have is that the we have what they call themselves. They call themselves kingmakers. So they'll pick a candidate, and by they I mean the developer community and so forth. They will pick a candidate and pump money to them through PACs, even all dark money, because a PAC donates to a PAC donates to a PAC. You can't trace it back, and we find that those people don't represent the the candidates don't represent the people; they represent the lobbyists. And we have an issue in our county where people don't want to stand up and go into office because if they're not, quote unquote, in the chosen group, they get smeared to hell. I got smeared all over the place. I mean, I was accused of being part of the Oklahoma bombing group. I've been accused of not being a citizen of the United States. I've been, yeah, yeah. They, honest to God, I won't mention names because I don't want to have to go to court to prove it. But one of the people that I ran against, his campaign group called the FBI and said I was in Washington D.C. on January 6th and assaulted a Capitol officer, and the FBI came to my house to investigate it,
That's
and
terrible.
it was kind of interesting because I was actually standing in the driveway. They came up to my house and identified themselves and said that they had been given a report that I was up in D.C. And I said, well, you already know the truth. And they said, why do you think that? I said, because if you think I was in Washington, D.C. and that I assaulted a Capitol officer, I would be on the ground with your knee in my back of my neck, being handcuffed so that you can question me differently. But you just came up in plain clothes and had a nice conversation. You also probably already pinged my cell phone and saw that I never left the area. And they said, well, that's right. And we'll probably never speak to you again, but have a good day. They had to investigate every report, they said. So that's it's true. I have their business card. Well, but people should. I mean, I did it again after that because I strongly believe in the direction that our county is going is wrong, or city is going is wrong, and it's still wrong. And but unfortunately, that's why other people won't stand up and locally because they get
It's
destroyed. But we still have you got to just swallow that and move forward. Unfortunately,
Yeah, those intimidation tactics, we can't let them be successful. Otherwise we get what we get.
yeah,
So, I
yeah,
mean, good for you for standing up for yourself.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time. All right, goodbye.
Bye-bye.